Ooh, that's a nice chunk of, I don't know, zinc or aluminum. Seems like a weird, you know, big chunk to trust the structural integrity of aluminum or zinc with, but I'm not an engineer. Oh, it's a thick dandelion, holy cow. More soft stuff, not as soft as the other, but look at this. Thumbnail, I was in the desert. I went to the desert and here I am in the desert now. Oh, this is really soft stuff. Oh my goodness. Well, it's a good thing these are machine washable. Wow, that is very uncomfortable. Still says we have 9 hours of still says we have 9 hours of recording time. 9 or 10 hours. What's this? You know, that's another advantage to doing this in the spring is the ground is still, oh, that's a rock. So nice and straight, it looks like metal on top. Another nice advantage to, yeah, doing it before summer really hits is all the ground would have dry up and be a lot harder than, well, you know, it's an advantage and a disadvantage. Obviously, this wouldn't have happened. That's not a big deal. I got like 16 pairs of shoes in the truck, so I can change into a different pair when I get back there, and then just, you know, honestly, I could just, actually, these are waterproof shoes. I'll just go run through one of those puddles and clean it off. You know what, maybe I'll do that now. Where's my bag? Somewhere over there. Bruh. It's funny, the ground here is actually more solid than that mud I stepped in. May as well get it off my legs too, because I don't need to be tracking it into my car. Oh, the water's actually not cold too. It's really nice. If it was deeper, you could actually go for a nice swim in it. Well, now I'm down here. May as well check. There's some computer chips. Don't really, you know what? Now I gotta. Still got a bunch of. Ooh, wow! Look at the size of that worm. Holy cow! Have you ever seen a worm that big? Why are they that big? I feel like you'd do better in somewhere where there's vegetation, wouldn't you? I'll bring you over there. Yeah, it's a big boy. Or girl. Or girl. Or genderless creature. I don't know really too much about worms. There you go, buddy. Do well. Don't want to test it or anything, but these shoes are actually safer than you might think too. Yeah, the sides and the top, mostly just the top, like most of the sides is still thick rubber, but the top is, I think it's neoprene. It's just like a thin material. But the bottoms are still all solid rubber. So they offer as much protection as a normal shoe. Maybe not a boot, but a shoe And I have jumped into a dumpster once, landed on a glass jar, shattered the jar under my weight with these on, and not only was I fine, but my shoe was completely fine too. Not something I'd want to replicate. I think I probably got pretty lucky. So if you're gonna do anything like this, definitely wear lots of safety gear. Be safe about it. I know maybe I'm not being the safest, but I'd rather put the time and knowledge to work in being vigilant for stuff like where I'm going to land when I jump in a dumpster, or doing it carefully, or avoiding needles, and then that way I can reap the benefits of using less mobility restrictive gear, because obviously it's a lot easier to climb a fence, run places, jump places, climb on dumpsters. It's a lot more easy to be agile when you have the proper footwear and clothes. Like, you know, pants are gonna slow you down and restrict you a little bit as well, limit your flexibility. But, you know, the longer legs on the pants offer protection. That's my strategy with clothing and gear, is light and quick, and then relying on my intelligence to keep me safe rather than heavy, thick stuff, and relying on my equipment to protect me. That's where I left off. Okay. Look, Rob, I did it. You proud of me? I climbed a rock. Can't put a price on fun. I'm having a blast out here doing this. Move this up, and then we'll continue our left to right strafing here. Not stepping in that anymore. It's pretty deep. Oh, I don't know how soft that is, but I don't want to have to go have another foot bath. As good as it did feel. What happened to my knee was, I think it was around February 4th. It was just a few days after I got my van. I was working, I was working my seasonal winter job, skating, and I was skating, and I just, fell. People just fall, it's a pretty common thing when you're skating. I used to skateboard. I fall all the time. I never gotten seriously injured, but I may have possibly torn my meniscus in my right knee, minorly, which is a lifelong injury that can't heal, and can lead to arthritis and things. But and then of course I fell and injured it again about a month after the initial injury, which prolonged the time it took for it to heal. Holy cow. But yeah, actually just in the last week or so, it's gotten a lot better. As you can see, I can actually climb. Like, I couldn't squat, I couldn't kneel on it, and obviously kneeling comes very in handy. That's more of that ceramic. Kneeling comes very in handy when you live in a tiny little van. I gotta be on my knees in there all the time trying to move around and stuff. I can't stand up. I want to sit down and roll around. So yeah, kneeling's a pretty big part of my life, I guess. Take that out of context. And but yeah, it's been getting better lately. A lot better, actually, which I'm really thankful for, really grateful for. I really value my body, and I don't want to ever have anything that slows me down in life and would prevent me from living a life like this, or exploration, climbing mountains, climbing trees, jumping, climbing fences, running from police, things like that. I'd be very sad and bummed out if I couldn't do that, and I thought that was the case for the last 2 months of my life here with my knee injury. But just in the last week, it's gotten a lot better. I don't have pain every day in it. Finding more ooh, this big guy on me, buddy. Finding more good metal than I thought. in here that I would have. Coke can, put that back for those bugs that live under it. Oh yeah, she's getting full. Probably weighing 40 pounds or so. Really good way to be able to test the weight of stuff is maybe go to a gym or something, grab some dumbbells, see what you can curl, see what you can lift with one arm, and then remember that number. If I can curl between 40 and 50 pounds, and then so you just match that to what you're trying to weigh. If you can do it, then it's, you know, about what you can curl or less, and if you can't, then it's more, and if it feels like you can maybe do it once, then it's probably around what you can curl. So that's how I measured that. I could probably just curl that, maybe, with perfect form, of course. That was a joke. My style of joking doesn't come across well in video, especially when you can't see my face, but not perfect form, you know. Oh, what are these? That is a bird. Two birds. Two baby birds. I was looking at the legs and thought frog, but the feathers threw me off. Yeah, birds. Okay. There's a few channels that I learned quite a bit from that do longer videos, and I personally like watching them. I like watching them, going to bed to them. Oh, that's rubber. Channels such as Scrap Vulture. He's now known as Vid Vulture. He does scrapping metal and dumpster diving by e-bike for the most part. He has some videos where he does it on a normal bike, and he started off on a motorcycle. He does his scrapping down in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Got lots of good knowledge and information. Family friendly channel. Definitely check him out, obviously. Another good one. Another good one is fellow Canadian channel, Thub Print. Not Thumbprint, Thub Print, T-H-U-B Print. He's in Calgary, Alberta, or Edmonton. I think Calgary, or just outside of it. And he mostly does bottles. He does do scrap metal and stuff, but he does bottles and cans because there's a deposit on all bottles and cans, even like milk jugs and things like that. Like, we don't have that here. Here in Ontario, it's only alcohol-based containers, so wine boxes even are considered that, or yeah, wine boxes, obviously, wine bottles and liquor bottles, beer cans, cooler cans, like all the alcoholic cans. But in Alberta, it's there's a deposit on every drinking container. So that's what he does. He does mostly he goes up and down alleys. He walks his routes, but he gets to his routes with a car. Taco Stacks, he's down in Pennsylvania. That's another really good channel. He's got a really nice big ProMaster, I think 3500, and he drives around in these neat little rainy towns. I love the scenery in Taco Stacks videos. And he doesn't do dumpsters, but wherever, you know, down in Pennsylvania, wherever he lives, I'm not sure the town area, he goes to a few different little towns around him. He just drives up and down the streets and on garbage pickup days, and he collects things off the side of the road. So he doesn't do really dumpster diving, but, well, maybe he does. I don't know. All the videos I've ever seen, he's just in his van on the street. So anyway, those are, I'd say, the three main videos that I've learned a lot of scrapping from. In fact, the way I have my bike set up is mostly learned from Scrap Vulture, or Vid Vulture. That's his new channel name. Used to be Scrap Vulture. With the Rubbermaid tote bin on the back. I used to have like a milk crate on the back, and the milk crate was good, and then I had two milk crates on the back, And then I found a pizza rack for the front and put a Rubbermaid bin on the front. And it looked kind of goofy, but I liked the milk crates I had at the time because they were teal and they matched the one teal Rubbermaid bin I had and the bike, and it looked cool, but it wasn't function over form. And function definitely takes precedence over form for me. I adopted Scrap Vulture's method of putting the Rubbermaid bin on the back, and then he's got he uses like these aluminum canisters he puts them in the bottom of it, and then he puts another Rubbermaid bin on top of that so that he can kind of separate his things, which I did as well, but with a recycling bin. I have like a little recycling bin in my lower Rubbermaid bin that separates them, and then I can kind of put like my own personal items or things that I don't want get dirty or garbage juice in the underside one. Then I can put other stuff on top. Yeah, so I learned that from him, but he's only got the one on the back. I decided to keep the pizza rack on the front of my bike, and so I just have the Rubbermaid bin, 2 on the back and then 1 on the front. You know, doubles my storage. Took a lot of getting used to learn how to ride a bike, because once I'm out and I'm scrapping, I fill them up. I don't like to go over 60 pounds on the front and then 60 pounds on the back. But riding a bike with 60 pounds of scrap metal flailing around on your handlebars is it takes some time to get used to. It's an acquired talent. You can only really learn it by doing this. I haven't met anybody who can actually properly ride my bike when there's even only 20-30 pounds of stuff in the front. So, you know, that's good. It prevents, kind of works like a manual transmission here in North America. It's a pretty good deterrent for thieves because nobody knows how to use it. That's, I don't know what that is. It's not magnetic, but it feels like it's rubbery. I guess it looks silver on the inside where it's tearing. I don't know, aluminum maybe? It's my best guess, but pretty odd aluminum, pretty strange aluminum. Either way, it's gonna be worth money. I do know that. As long as it's metal, which it is, it's metal, I'm pretty sure. It looks, acts, tastes like metal. It's gotta be metal. Of course, where all this vegetation is growing, seems to be the spot where it's a plethora of metals to grab. That's aluminum. Some plants growing on it. Yeah, I'll leave that one for the plants and the snails then. You guys can have that one. You can also train your ear to be able to tell a lot of metals by the sound they make when they clink together. It changes obviously with the size, shape, density of the metal, but a lot of metals do have a telltale sound when they are manipulated. I'm surprised this bag can handle this much weight, to be honest, but I guess it is meant for going around IKEA and carrying little furniture and household things. So, and it's well, I don't know if these bags are made in Sweden, but you know, Sweden's probably got some pretty nice quality items. It's a pretty quality country from what I gather on the internet. Never been. Maybe one day. Although, as far as I know, a lot of European countries don't even allow, like it's illegal to go into dumpsters and to liberate stuff from the garbage. Which I don't agree with, but that's how they do it. GoPro's lasting a lot longer than it usually does, which is really nice. I'm really glad about that. One thing I realized what I was doing before when I was filming is I had it set to 1080p quality and 60 frames per second, so I think that ate a lot of juice. And for me, I watch all my videos on 720. I can't really tell much of a difference, maybe a little bit of a difference between 1080 and 720, but 720 is really nice to watch. So I dropped the quality on the GoPro to film in 720p rather than 1080, and also dropped the frames per second from 60 to 30, which I don't think will affect the quality too much, hopefully. I'm pretty sure that the human eye can only see 20 anyway, right? I don't know. You know, it might make a difference for all my alien viewers. You know, I don't want to leave them out. Typically, you want to do it as quietly and covertly and quietly and secretively as possible, because a lot of people don't understand what you're doing. They think you're just trespassing and being a bad person and messing around and ruining stuff, and then you know, so then they might call the police on you or something. And then another thing is, you don't want competition. You don't want other people knowing what's out here and where to find it, really. I mean, that's the detriment to me making these videos. But I have like 32 subscribers right now, and obviously there's other channels that are way bigger than mine that do this kind of thing, and still most people do not know about scrapping metal or how to do it, or even, you know, they don't want to. They'd rather just work on a desk job. A lot of people would rather do that, so I don't really have to worry about too much competition. I do sometimes run into some other scrappers, and yeah, like I said earlier, like a lot of metal scrapping people and dumpster diving people aren't really the sanest people. But some of them are really nice. There's a guy in a red Ford Ranger that drives around this area. I can't remember his name. I think it might be Bruce. Talked to him a few times. He collects cans for some child organization or something like that, and as far as I can recall, he said he just leaves scrap metal. He doesn't bother with that. Ran into him a few times. He's a really nice guy. He actually offered me his name as a reference to apply for a job with the Toronto District School Board, which is really nice of him, but I like doing what I'm doing. I've also been offered 2 or 3 construction jobs. Mostly, it's weird. I don't know if it's because the area I live in has a high Polish or at least Eastern European population, but I've had like three different times. I've had 3 different accounts of people offering me jobs in construction, all from like Polish or Russian guys doing this. So another benefit to scrapping metal is people realize you're a hard worker and you're looking for work, and if the right person sees you, they might offer you a job.
How neat is that?
Pretty neat. Not for me though. Big part of the reason I don't do this because I have to. I can get a job. I have a job. I could get other jobs if I wanted to. I'm more than qualified for a lot of jobs. But this is what I like to do. I've worked probably 20 jobs in my life. 20 different jobs in my life. And there's nothing that even comes close to this in so many regards. I like doing this. This is fun. I can work when I want to. I don't have to work if I don't want to. Work my own hours is what I'm trying to say. Like I said before, I can make really good money doing it. I enjoy doing it. That's copper or brass. Okay, this is how you check. So obviously it is copper, but you scratch it. Just rock or brick will work. And you see that brown in there? Copper. I've never done a job that I've truly enjoyed every moment of it. You know, tree planting and canoe. I work at a canoe camp. I teach kids how to canoe in the summer, and both those jobs are really awesome and really fun, but this is even better. This is still funner than both those jobs, and typically pays better. You know, that's kind of the random thing. Like the bread and butter of dumpster diving and whatever you want to call this. Like, it's like, it is scrapping, but it's more than just scrapping, and it's also not just dumpster diving. Obviously, I'm not in a dumpster right now. It's just like scavenging, I guess. You know, the bread and butter, the backbone of the income you're gonna make, well, if you do it here where I am, for me, the backbone of the money, like the almost guaranteed money for me, is the scrap metal and the beer cans and bottles. Items that I find that either I can use and therefore save money on not having to buy, or items that I can sell to people, like such as the that thermal bike food holder rack carrier thing, things like that. Like, those aren't the bread and butter. You can never really rely on finding things that you can sell, but when you're out doing it, when you're out looking for metal and cans and bottles, and you find stuff like that, or like the really good example is the Canada Goose jacket from the last video. You can just find these random really good finds, and then it's just like it's like a cherry on the cake, and just boosts the money you can make doing it. That's a rock. I keep getting tricked by these rocks. So this video is gonna be a lot longer than I thought, but back to that garbage bag. So I'm pretty sure we're done here. Let's go grab the bag and then head back to the truck, and there I will kind of go over and try to give you a rough estimate as to what we made and over how long. Gotta feed my pigeon buddies too. They like peanuts. Surprisingly, they can eat them. Try to break them up a little bit better though. Well, here we are at another really good, well, it's a garbage area behind an apartment complex. So along a little route that I take sometimes. I just came here to sort the stuff from today's video in peace. And also I was just going to check these dumpsters, to which I found one can, and probably the best find of the day, which unfortunately you didn't see that, but I will show you. We're just going to go over what we got today, and I'll estimate what it's worth. So there's a pile of aluminum. Some of it's extruded, some of it is dirty, some of it is just straight aluminum, so hard to tell weight wise. That is really difficult to tell. Not sure, and I don't even know what the prices of aluminum are right now. I think 30 cents or so is usually what it is a pound, maybe 30 pounds there, so $9 maybe. And then the ABX, probably 3-4 pounds there. I can't tell you what that goes for. It's over $1, I'm quite certain though. So we'll say $4, so we'll say total 13. These batteries are pretty heavy. Well, actually no, they're not that heavy for batteries. Maybe 3 pounds a piece, 9 pounds. I don't know what the current price for batteries is. Maybe, I don't even know, couldn't tell you. We'll say $1, maybe more, maybe less, probably more. $15. That copper. These 3 pieces are really, well, and this piece are really nice. Pretty good clean copper. That one alone is probably 4 or 5 pounds. This one's probably another 3 pounds, half a pound. So we'll say 5, 8, 8.5. 8.5 at $3. We'll say $2.80 a pound. So what did I say? 8, 9. We'll say 9 pounds. $3, 9, 18, 27 minus 20, 40, 60 cents a pound, whatever. I don't know, I got all jumbled up trying to remember these ones now. These, I don't know what they're gonna go for, but it's copper, a large amount of copper, thick copper on the outside, and then some steel on the inside, and it's probably like 10 pounds. That thing is heavy, and this is the same deal, but just a bit smaller. I'd say at least 15. Maybe $31. This wire here, I can't remember the price of it off the top of my head right now either. Probably only 3 pounds there anyway. 31, we'll say $34-ish maybe. Cans, I'm not going to count them right now, but probably about 30 cans there. Maybe 20. 20 cans, $2, $37. 2, 3, 4, 5, 16, 16, 18, 20, another $2, $40. So $40, you know, if my price and weight estimates are accurate. Then we got the thermal bag here, which I cleaned out a little bit. Maybe I'll get $5, $10 for that, or maybe I can use it. If we'll see if I get $5 for it, $45. And then as I came here, look what I happened to find leaning against the dumpster. Yeah, people throw bikes out, even working bikes. So this one initially had 2 flat tires. But I had to pump my van tires up anyway, so I had my pump out, so I pumped them up and I gave it a ride, and it works fine. The brakes are fine. I didn't test the gears, but the chain looks good and not rusty, well oiled. It's a fine bike. I don't know why somebody would throw that out. I mean, I guess I do know why. They just don't have space for it, or they have a better bike. You know, some parts of it are pretty old and crusty looking, but it's a fine bike. I could probably get at least 20, 30 bucks for that. We'll just round down to make it safe. $65, and you tell me how long. Well, I guess we'll find out when I edit the video. I'd probably say I spent less than 3 hours. But again, I like to round down because then if I round down, then you expect the worst but receive the best, right? So we'll say 3 hours, and we'll say I made 65 bucks. So $21 an hour, 20, 40, 60, yeah, about, and that's rounding. And remember, that's rounding against myself. I definitely worked less than 3 hours, and some of this stuff might be worth $5, $10 more than that. So it may be more than $21 an hour that I made working today. Of course, I still have to take the time to bring it into the scrapyard, but that's 15 more minutes. And then posting the sellables, the bike and the thermal bag online. That doesn't take long. Actually, I might know somebody who can use that bike, so then I'll just do that. That's the video for today. I hope you guys liked it, and one more time, leave a comment as to whether you want long, full-length videos, half an hour, full hour, whatever, or whether I should cut these videos up into smaller 15-minute segments. Thanks. See ya.